everyone, my name is Bayomi. I'll be instructor for data analysis and data science class. So I quickly want to make a record on the basics and fundamentals of data analysis and data science and what we need to know about data analysis and data science. So and so I'll start by I'll start by explaining who is a data analyst, as everybody is curious to learn to like want to be a data analyst, abi, or who want to become a data scientist. So who is really that data analyst that we actually want to become? So I'll start by telling us a data analyst, just from this my slide, a data analyst is who collects, process and perform analysis of large data sets. When you started working with a big tech company or just a normal organization, most of the times, because this data analysis is just something that anybody can imagine or what anybody can do on their own without even need to hire a data analyst, or probably I think data science is like an advance of data, and like a data scientist is just like a senior role to a data analyst. So this analysis process is just something that anybody can imagine. Just like maybe, like for example, you are selling something, let me say, so and you have different kind of item that you sell, and a particular item is actually bringing more sales. So from your own analysis, you can just sit down one day and analyze the trend of your sales on different kind of products you are selling. And just because what you are selling is not really, like, you are not working with a big data, just like it's something you can just look through and scan through and check, okay, this one is giving me high percentage of interest, or this is the product that sells the most. So you can easily figure out the products that you you can buy more, or the product you need to stay on, like in your sales. So but when it comes to like an e-commerce website that different peoples are buying, like even they generate datas in thousands and in millions. So it will be very, very difficult for anybody to just scan through 1,000 row of datas or 1,000,000 rows. So that's when the roles of a data analyst come in place. So they are the experts that collect, maybe at times they collect data, and at times they may not be the one collecting the data. Like maybe data they generate through a website or in any form. So when they collect the data, they process it and they perform analysis on that large data set, as I said, because when you are working with a large data set, it will be very difficult for you to just scan through. So they are the one that perform analysis on that large data set with some specific tools they use for making analysis. So then every business, be small or big, generate and collect data. This data can be in forms of customer feedback, account logistics, marketing research and so on. So like I said, the data you'll be working on at times, it can be in form of customer feedback, it can be in form of, it's just like, okay, you are selling different kind of products, or a company you are working with is selling different kind of products, and they want customer feedback on each product. So and when they get all those feedback, it's like maybe a company that is selling products to like maybe 1,000s, 1,000,000s customer. So it will be very, very difficult for just a single person to just scan through, okay, these are the feedback from this specific customer. But that's when data analysis comes in place. So they are the experts that use some analysis tools to analyze, to take in this data, analyze, like in form of this kind of feedback, analyze it and get the accurate recommendations and the solution to a particular problem. So a data analyst is a professional who takes this data and figure out numerous measure. Just like I said, it may be that there is a problem in that particular organization or company, or problem in their sales. Maybe they have low sales, or they have loss on some of their this thing, or like instead of them making profit, they're actually making loss. So and they employ you just to figure out from their data and their past trend, okay, what are they doing wrong, what they should improve. But you as a data analyst, you take those data, you analyze them, then give a numerous measure such as how to improve customer experience. It can be in form of customer experience. So maybe the data you are working with can be in form of customer experience. So you take in those data and you try to analyze them to give them the solutions and the recommendation on what they should do next. So what does a data analyst do? A data analyst is responsible for collecting, like I said from my previous slide, cleaning. When they collect data, because at times the roles of a data analyst can be in form of collecting those data, and at times they can, like the data can be already, like those company may have that data already that you don't really need to collect them yourself or gather them yourself. But at times it may be that as a data analyst, you will be the one to gather those data, like to collect those data. Then when you collect those data, they can be, like, as a human being, or we are not 100% accurate. There are some, like there may be some messy data, or a places maybe missing values and the likes, that or probably there's a mistake where you need to put a number, you are putting an alphabet, or you are putting, like, maybe where you supposed to add uh maybe comma, or you are putting full stop, like it can, like there can be a mistake. So when those mistake, you must, as a data analyst, you must be able to identify those mistakes, and then you must be able to clean those data. When you clean it and you make it clean, then you go further by analyzing that data that can be used to improve the business decision. Because if you don't clean the data, your result will be skewed. So you must be very conscious of that. Like you must take note of cleaning those data. So when you, after collecting it, you must clean it. Then when you clean it and you see that your data is cleaned, then you proceed by analyzing those data. Then after analysis of the data, any insight you can see or any trend and pattern you can notice from that data, then you use them to improve business decision. Also, a data analyst use its effective communication skill. Just like, but everybody will said, I can speak English very well. That's not a problem. But here, that's not what they are referring to. So your communication skill is just like, okay, ability of you turning technical jargons to something that anybody can relate with. Okay, like as a data analyst, you are working with a stakeholder, and that your stakeholder or the business owner that you are working with does not even understand what a data analysis, or what, like what data analysis means. So, like, and if the business owner really knows what it means and they can do it themselves, they will not even employ you. So they are not, like they employ you to help them to use your skill to solve a particular problem. And when you solve those problems, you now carry the code or anything that you use and go and show it to them. They don't need it because they won't understand. So the ability of you turning those jargons to what they can relate with, that's when it, well, that's what we regard as communication skill. So you being able to communicate the technical jargons to, like in a form that the business owner or anybody you are working with can relate and can understand. to really help them to make decision on what next. So then a data analyst use their strong mathematical knowledge and computer science to find trend in large data. So this one is not maybe like a big mathematical knowledge, or you can't like, or maybe you don't really have BSc in computer science, that shows you'll not be able to do it. No, that's not what this really means. Mathematics just like a basic mathematical knowledge, just like mean, median, mode, and all these ANOVA, times, t-test. Depends on, but there are still something you can learn alongside, and it's not a big mathematical concept like that. Then computer science is just ability of you being able to use computer effectively, and even if you don't really know how to use it, it's a gradual process. So you just have to relate and especially know some how to operate those software that they use in analyzing data to find trend in large data sets, just like the one we'll be doing in this course of study. So then the skill required for the roles of a data analyst, like analytical mindset, just like I said the other time, like maybe you are selling something, or maybe you just want to examine yourself, maybe you are sleeping in the time, like maybe you just, or maybe like the liters of water you you drank every day. So you can just examine it, and maybe something is happening in your bodies or something. Just analytical mindset, like you being able to take in something and try to analyze it. Or let me say, for example, maybe like a lady and a guy. A guy is trying to maybe like a guy want to be in relationship with a lady, and the lady start examining you, maybe you that you don't have job, or you that you don't have car, or he's trying to analyze it. So everybody have analytical mindset, like you have your ability to analyze something based on what you can see. That's just, it's just when it comes to this particular maybe data analyst that you need to use some tools, but just normal imagination to analyze something based on what you can see. That's what analytical mindset really means. The knowledge of programming, just like Python or R program, but in this course of study we'll be considering Python. So it's one of the tools that we use in analyzing data. Then also knowledge of data analysis too, just like Microsoft Excel, SQL, MATLAB, IBM, SPSS. So in this course of study too, we will be considering how to use Microsoft Excel and SQL. Though some people use MATLAB and IBM SPSS, but in this course of study, we'll not be using that. But because especially if you are going into labor market and you are really looking for a cool job role, basically the requirement are Python, Microsoft Excel, SQL, I think other tableaus and Power BI. So then once we understand this one, we can also take it further ourselves to learn maybe how to use MATLAB or how to use IBM SPSS. So understanding of statistics and machine learning also is one of the requirement skill that you need to understand some basic statistical, all this bar chart, all this mean, median, like I said the other time. So all those basic statistics is what we must have. So then machine learning, some basic concept of machine learning, especially as a data analyst. But when it comes to data science, you must understand extensive knowledge of machine learning, just like all this classification, regression, and clustering. And I think we are going to try to touch some of them. Then knowledge of data visualization tools, as I said, Power BI, Tableau, or click view. So all this one is either you just know one, but Tableaus and Power BI have the same interface. So they are not really, they look alike. If you can use Power BI very well, it will not be difficult for you to use Tableau. So what is the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist? Because some people are actually confused. What is the difference? So basically, typical data analysts work with structured data to solve tangible business problems using tools like SQL, R, or Python programming language, data visualization softwares, and statistical analysis. And so they use, as a data analyst, your work typically work like your work involve working with structured data to solve tangible business problem, and the tools you'll be using are SQL. You can be using R or Python, but Python is popularly used. Then for data visualization, you can be using Power BI or Tableau, and also some statistical analysis. So what their day involve, like what they do in their day to day. So they collaborate with organization leader, just like collaborating with stakeholders or business owners, or maybe program manager. Is it program like project managers, just to, especially when you are working on a project, so you collaborate with them to give them feedback and also to ask them questions on the progress of your tax. So because at times there are things you'll be doing with on your data that you need to get a feedback or information from them, because you cannot just go out, like you must collaborate. And also you can be in a team that you need to work with different team member. So when you are working on particular aspect, you have to collaborate with them, tell them, update them, this is what is going on, and they too getting feedback from them. Or maybe you are doing something wrong and you don't really know or you don't really recognize, but in the atmosphere of collaboration, you'll be able to carry yourselves along. So acquiring data from primary and secondary source. The data you generate from your company is what we call primary source of data. Then the secondary is just like maybe a a a a a data you source for from another organization. Then I think we have third party. Third party is when you buy data from another organization. So at times maybe the problem you are trying to solve, the data you have in your company may not be enough. So you have to source for data outside, or you have to buy more data. And also we have some open data, just like using Kaggle. So if you go on Kaggle, you can see, you can see a lot of data there that they are open and free also, especially for practice, because when you are learning it, you are not working with a company that generate data, and you need to practice what you are learning. So you can just go on, especially cargoes, and there are a lot of open data. Google has like different kind of organization that will give you, that will not penalize you for downloading their data. So you can just go there and download data. Then clean and reorganizing data for analysis. When you get those data, you download them, you must clean them and reorganize them in the format that suits the like your work, because at times some data can be messy, they may be in unstructured format. You have to clean them and you have to reorganize them to suit your own your own work. So analyzing data set to spot trend. So when you clean them, you reorganize them, you have to analyze those data sets to spot trend and pattern that can be translated into actionable insights. So analyzing data set to spot trend. When you clean and you reorganize them, then the next step is analyzing the analysis of that data. Then what are you doing when you're analyzing it? Your main focus when you're analyzing those data is to spot trend and pattern that can be translated into actionable insight. When you notice all those, when you spot those trend, you have to jot them down so that when you give them to your stakeholder or your business owner, they will be able to turn all those insights that you are able to spot from your analysis to actionable insight. So then presenting, just like presentation of your findings. After you've done everything, you have to present your solution to your stakeholder or your business owner, or maybe like a project manager, so to see. And you must try to do that in a way, in an easy to understand way, to inform data-driven decision, because if you don't do it in a very easy way, it will be difficult because most of them may not even have background in data analysis. So you have to make it in a easy to understand way so that they can it can turn that presentation can be turned to data driven decision. So then a data scientist often deals with the unknown by using more advanced data techniques to make predictions about the future. So their own, especially when you talk about data analyst. So those they analyze data and give some insights that can be used in prediction. But when it comes to data scientists, they predict based on those data. Like they write code, advanced code to make prediction that you can easily see. You can apply linear regression to check how a sales grow over time. So like you can perform some advanced statistical analysis using some advanced data techniques to make prediction, and they might automate their own machine learning algorithm, just because when you are working as a data scientist you deal or you work with a lot of machine learning algorithm. So at times they may even be the one to automate their own for they may automate it or design a predictive for modeling. So they would have designed it or automate it in a way that you just need to fit in the data and it will just continue to predict it, and it can handle both structured and unstructured data. So data scientists role are generally considered more advanced version of a data analyst. So when you see a data analyst, it's like a boss to a data. When you see a data scientist, is like a boss to a data analyst. Then data scientist role, they too dey gather data. When they gather the data, they clean the data and they process those raw data. Then when after the processing, they design predictive, and at times they analyze those data before they design predictive modeling and machine learning algorithm to mine big data set. Then they develop tools and process to monitor and analyze data accurately. So building data visualization, dashboards, and like I said, they too at times they build dashboard like a data analyst, and this role sef is not specifics at times. So at times they may hire you as a data scientist and you may find yourself doing the work of data analyst, and from the job role what they are required of is data scientist, and you end up doing exactly what a data analyst does in his day-to-day activity. So most of the time too, normally, data scientist role should involve just analyzing data and designing predictive model, and at times it can involve building data visualization and using the tools like Tableaus or Power BI. So then writing program to automate data collection, just like the way data analysts use Python, data scientists use Python too, but it's just like data scientists write more code than data analysts, and what they use it like they automate data collections and process it, and they use it in building predictive modeling. Then data skills for data scientist and data analyst. So like mathematics, programming, software tools, and other skills are just something that bring them together. So, and as a data analyst, you have to know foundational mathematics and statistics. They are just foundational, like basic. Why data scientists need to know advanced? Not really advanced, because it's something you can learn alongside, even if you don't really have the understanding yet. As time goes on, you understand them. Then predictive analytics. So programming, like as a data analyst, you must be basic, like you must have basic knowledge in either R or Python, then also SQL. Then as a data scientist, you must know Python very well, and you must really know some advanced functions in but I can't really say advanced advanced. No, like it's just like as you go, like you learn from one step to the other. You learn from one topic, like maybe you start with beginners topics, you understand them, you go to the advanced and you go to intermediate. When you understand them, then you move to advanced. Then also softwares and tools. So as a data analyst, it's always good to know how to use Microsoft Excel. If you can know how to use SAS, you can know how to use business intelligence. Business intelligence is just Power BI, then Tableau software. So as I've explained the other time, and as a data scientist, Atom is still one of what you can have, but it's not really popularly used now. Then MySQL, you can use TensorFlow, at least is still part of requirement as a data scientist, and Spark. Just like TensorFlow is an advance of machine learning and we call it deep learning, TensorFlow or PyTorch. Then other skills just like analytical thinking, data visualization. At times you need to have the skills of analytical thinking, then data visualization. Also, as a data scientist, you have to understand basic machine learning and data modeling. So our major focus on tools to use for data analysis in this training, I will be teaching us how to use Microsoft Excel or Google Spreadsheet. They both have the same interface, and I will also teach us how to use Python to analyze data and to do some predictive modeling. Then I'll teach us how to use SQL. SQL means structured query language. So I'm going to teach us how we can use it to query data and to do some analysis. And I'm going to show us how we both works on a project using Power BI or Tableau to design a dashboard. So thank you.